has engaged the Muslim community more than Andrew Cuomo has in 8 total years of government. Mr. Governor, you haven't visited a mosque in 8 years as a governor. Outrageous. We need more engagement from the office of the governor, and I'm proud to say that we are confident Cynthia Nixon will be here to fight for all New Yorkers and everybody standing here.
That's right.
The man currently occupying our White House and his allies is fighting for a white nation, and not just a white nation, a white Christian nation at the exclusion of everybody else.
Yep.
And while we know that this administration is overtly attacking Muslim communities, we as Jews also know that we are vulnerable when white nationalists are emboldened. All they want to do is divide us, but will we let them? No! As Samaya said, as Jews and Muslims, we have such a long history of standing together for justice. In the 1940s in Iraq, we stood together for the democratic and pan-Arab future of that state. In the 1950s, we fought for the decolonization of Algeria. In the 1980s, we fought against corruption in Moscow. And this time is no different. Now New York City is our home, New York State is our home, and we are going to fight for a democratic future together.
We are so proud to be building on that history of working together. We are proud of NBC to welcome the Jewish vote to Bay Ridge, one of the largest concentration of Muslim American voters in the state. And we are proud to be standing here with our Jewish comrades and our brothers and sisters. Together, this is the spirit of this campaign. Cynthia Nixon, uniting communities, all New Yorkers. Without further ado, let us introduce the next governor of New York, Cynthia Nixon.
Thank you so much, everybody. It is great to be here with all of you in Bay Ridge. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom alaikum. And happy Sunday, everybody. We've got 19 days to go before September 13th, before I win the Democratic And I just want to say thank you so much for your support, and I agree. I'm Cynthia Nixon. I'm running for governor of New York State because I believe in New York State.
That's right.
Because I love New York State. Because New York is a 2-to-1 Democratic, proudly progressive place. And New York should be the rightful seat of the resistance. Because unlike Donald Trump, we understand here in New York that our diversity is our strength. And that we are not only a country, not only a state, we are a city built by immigrants. And we are a city and a state and a nation based on religious freedom and freedom of expression and the right to assemble. So many things that are under threat in Donald Trump's United States. And if he has given us one thing, he has got us up off our tuchuses. He has woken us up in a way that perhaps we were not fully awake before. And whether we are Jews, whether we are Muslims, whether we are immigrants, whether we are Latinos, whether we are African Americans, people of color, queer people, we understand that we must come together and be united like never before. Because together, this is the way we are going to fight Donald Trump. And this is a terrible moment for our country, but in a place like New York, if we view it in the right way, it is not only an opportunity, it is an obligation that we have to do what New Yorkers have always done, to come together with each other across ethnic lines, across class lines, across gender lines, to come together and show the rest of the country that there is a better, fairer, more inclusive way and we can show the rest of the country that how we do it in New York is the way to do it, and we can lead. We can lead here in New York State. And we can oppose Donald Trump, not just with rhetoric, the way our governor is doing now. We can oppose him with actual policy.
That's right.
We don't want a New York that incentivizes, that prioritizes tax breaks for corporations and banks and the wealthiest.
Exactly.
We want a New York that asks the wealthiest New Yorkers and companies to pay their fair share so we can invest in our state. So we can fully fund our schools. Particularly our schools of color that are so underfunded. Our kids across New York State are owed $4.2 billion. That's an investment that I've been fighting for 17 years, ever since my oldest child, Sam, entered kindergarten. We have such a chance to enact foundation aid, which is the solution to the Campaign for Fiscal Equity, which is this generation's Brown versus the Board of Education. We have an opportunity and an obligation to end the school-to-prison pipeline to invest in schools, not jails.
That's right.
To get rid of the metal detectors.
Yes.
To get rid of the over-policing of our communities of color.
That's right.
To legalize recreational marijuana first and foremost because it's a racial justice issue.
That's right. That's right.
People across ethnic lines use marijuana at roughly the same rates, but 80% of the arrests of marijuana are of Black and Latino people.
Yep.
That's
Shame.
not right.
Shame.
That's not right anywhere, and it's certainly not right in the state
Not
of New
right.
York. Using marijuana is something that has effectively been legal for white people in this state for a long time. It is time to make it legal for everyone else. And when we do that here in New York, we must make sure that the individuals and the communities that have been the most targeted, that have been the most harmed by the war on drugs, that they are prioritized for licenses and small business loans and other supports so that we have marijuana equity going forward. And the tens of millions of dollars that we will collect in tax revenue from this multi-billion-dollar industry, we must invest back into the community. We must invest in job creation and education programs and programs to help parolees re-enter society. We must make sure when this multi-billion-dollar industry comes to New York, it's not just wealthy white capitalists like John Boehner that are profiting.
That's right.
We need marijuana equity here in New York State, but it's just the beginning of the justice reform that we need. We need to pass Khalif's law. We need to ensure a right to a speedy trial, and most especially, we need to end cash bail in New York State. We need to fight for a Medicare for all, single-payer system. We need to affirm that housing is a human right. And we need to not only renew our rent laws, we need to strengthen them and expand them across New York State to end the housing and affordability and gentrification crisis that is gobbling up the housing in every corner of this state. We need to treat our planet like our home and hold fossil fuel billionaires accountable when they poison our communities. We need a just transition to 100% renewable energy absolutely no later than 2050.
That's right.
And we need to make New York a real sanctuary state, not
right.
just rhetorically.
That's right.
We need to do it with policy. We need to pass the New York Dream Act. We need to give dreamers a chance at higher education.
That's right.
We need to pass things that we haven't only because of Andrew Cuomo's empowerment of the IDC. We need to pass the Gender Expression Non-Discrimination Act. We need to pass the Reproductive Health Act. We need to pass the Liberty Act to stop our local
That's right.
And I promise you, on the first day of my administration, by executive order, I will expand access to driver's licenses for every Giving people a driver's license is the quickest, surest, most effective way we can stop the flow of deportations in New York State, stop families from being torn apart, stop New York being turned into a police state.
That's right.
If we care about our immigrant community, documented and undocumented, if we care about marginalized people, if we care about any one of a host of categories that our president sees as other, we must come together and show there is a better way. And I say to you, there is no conflict between being a supporter and an advocate and a partner for New York's Jewish community and being a supporter and a partner and an advocate for New York's Muslim community. Hillary Clinton may not have gotten everything right, but she was right when she said, we are stronger together.
Yes.
And we are stronger together in New York.
That's right.
And so we are going to go out from here. We are going to canvass. We are going to knock on doors. We are going to make sure that everyone knows that Jumaane Williams and I are running for Lieutenant Governor and Governor.
Yay, Jumaane!
And don't just wait for November. We've got an election in 2.5 weeks, in 19 days on September 13th. What day of the week is that? Thursday! That's right.
Thursday. It's Thursday.
And this year, in 2018, we have to elect more Democrats, it is true. But we also have to elect better Democrats. There are thousands of progressives across this country who are running for office for the first time. Many of them are women. And I am so inspired by them, and I am so proud to count myself among their ranks.
Woo!
I'm Cynthia Nixon, and I'm running for governor because I believe in New York.
That's
I
right.
believe in all of New York.
We believe in you.
And I know that you do too.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm asking you to join this blue wave, to create this blue wave, to be this blue wave that is rejecting the status quo, rejecting centrist corporate Democrats in favor of real change. We can do it if we come together. Thank you so
Cynthia, 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 Cynthia.
All right, folks, you heard Cynthia. We are going to canvass. We are going to knock on doors. We are also going to visit a lot of the businesses all along Fifth Avenue. If you come inside, we've got food, delicious food. What do we have to offer?
We have snacks and water and a bunch of other stuff. So come inside, grab something to eat, grab some lit, a walk list, and let's hit some doors.